Talkline Network Radio, America's longest-running Jewish broadcast network, the voice of the Jewish community.
Welcome to the podcast. You are now tuned in to this episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. And now, please welcome your host.
You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And we're back. I had the occasion to go to Borough Park for a really beautiful event, 150 Holocaust survivors having a wonderful, wonderful lunch with entertainment, powerful speakers. And this is what's being done on a regular basis by Nachas Health and Family Network. Joining us right now is Horowitz. She is the Director of Senior Services at that organization, and in just a few days put together this marvelous event. So thank you for inviting me, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure.
So tell us about Nachas Health then, because I know Borough Park is where you're based out of, has a lot of Holocaust survivors, and a lot of them are dependent on the Jewish community to support for food, and also to get together and to be with family and friends, because a lot of them don't have anybody.
Or they have them out of town. I'll tell you, during the COVID, which is the best example, everybody was busy with children and with adults, but everybody forgot the survivors. And at one point, we were serving 100 people a day. I had volunteers delivering food for them. And one of them wrote me a note. They said, if you wouldn't have given us food for Pesach, my mother and I would have died, because nobody knocked at our door to help us. Wow. And that's what Nachas does. We step in where most people don't even know that it exists, the problem.
So how many Holocaust survivors are there in Brooklyn, would you say? Do we have any idea?
Well, it depends. We don't deal mostly with the JCC, and the other organizations are dealing with the Russians, but we are dealing only with the Heimische community. So we have a few hundred that are left. We started with about 5,000. But the ones that are coming to us are very feisty, as you noticed today.
Yeah, like I said, they really got into the... Listen, they were happy. They deserve to have some joy in their lives. Joey Newcomb, I think, really got them moving.
Well, you heard what he said. He wanted brachas, and he got a whole bunch of brachas after the show. He said that's what he needed. So I told him, don't be shocked if it works out.
No, it's certainly very, very special. The Nachas began, I believe, in the 1980s. The son of the Boston Rebbe set it up in Borough Park.
Yes.
Was it about 1981, 82?
Right. He just had an office for nonprofit. But when they started with the money from Germany in 93, when Switzerland decided to release money, and when Germany decided to give money for the people who worked in different factories, Nachas came into being. We had about a few hundred people a day coming to the office. We should fill out the papers for them. And they were getting from Germany about $10,000, and from Switzerland, and that all that money they got from Switzerland was about $450. That's it? Yeah, and then we went to court, and we were begging the courts to give out the rest of the money to the survivors. And they said the people in Russia suffer too. But we kept saying the money from Switzerland was people who they found was the gold with mercury in it. Means it was the teeth of the people who they killed, and their teeth was full of gold, and it was pulled out. But we fought, we lost in court, so we just kept going, helping survivors.
So who supports your work?
Well, we get a grant from the Claims Conference. And then there's a grant that we get from the city, from the Elie Wiesel Holocaust program. And then we go wherever we can. Whoever wants to help us, we're there to work out an, example. We're taking them now on vacation because another organization decided that they think it's important enough. And we took last year 40 survivors away for a week up in Hudson Valley Resort.
That's usually summertime, right?
Yes, it's 5 days, 4 nights.
They take them, which is very nice. Now, a lot of them, are they in touch with their families? Do they come visit them regularly? Are they on their own? Because it seems a lot of them seem lonely.
Most of them are on their own, or the family lives in Lakewood. They live out of town. And when they go to they tell me when they go to the children, everybody's looking to entertain them. Like they're the Nebuchadnezzar there. When they come on vacation with us, they're going with friends, so they're able to have a lot of fun. They are very, very, in a sense, needy. There's still a lot of money that they need. They don't have enough money for rent, or they don't have enough money for the dentist. And that's what we do. We find places where we can get some money for them, and we try to help as many as we can on each day. And the food is the most important for them. They take home the food regardless if they need it or not. They want to make sure that they are fed and they have what to eat in case they can't come out tomorrow morning.
How many days a week do you provide them with food?
4 days a week. That means we serve them. They have for lunch pizza, calzone, falafel, knish. That's up to them. We order whatever they like. And then for supper, they get whatever we get from the Satmar butcher that they're making that day, either chicken or hamburgers or fish. We try to, give them a very diet, and they love it. This is something that they love. Besides coming together to exercise or to do, to hear shiurim, but it makes quite a difference in their lives that all these things are going on for them.
No, it's very important because be together with family or with friends in this particular case. Now, you also have I notice a lot more women than men in today's event.
Yes, that's what happened is the men died first, a lot of them. They were older than their wives when they got married, because we just started to do a thing called Where Did You Meet Your Husband and How Did You Get Engaged? And they have these crazy stories how they met them in different places, or they came back after the war and they found somebody who lived in the same town and was 10 years old or 15. Also, I found over the years that a lot of the men, I told that to the hospital, they should have done a study years ago. A lot of the men ended up with Parkinson's. So I don't know if it had to do with the camps or whatever, or the malnutrition, but the men are, never stayed alive too long once they were diagnosed with the Parkinson's or dementia, whatever it was. But the women are tough. The women are real feisty women.
Nice. So some of them were really Lebedik, today, and they really got involved, and which was nice to see because they went through a lot in their lives. Now, during the past year and a half after October 7th, did you find a lot of them were traumatized by what was happening in Israel because of their experiences?
Well, they were traumatized, but it was interesting. I have a few of them that say the Hotilim every day, and they don't talk about it. That's the strangest thing. They don't talk about it. The only time they discussed it is when I brought a Chayal to the office who described what he was doing in Israel, and they gave him money for tzedakah to take with him, but they don't like to talk about it. That's why we talk about engagements. We talk about whatever we could think of to make them happy. That's why we did this luncheon today, is because they were very, very nervous and down about what's going on in Israel and what's going on here. So we said, let's give them some life today.
Were they concerned about the selection of Madami as being the Democratic nominee? Did that come up at all?
That came up. They're terrified. They want to know what they can do. I said, I have no idea, except voting. I don't know what else you can do.
Are they all registered to vote?
Yeah, these are the tough ones. They registered, they're the first ones to vote. They all vote, and most of them are Republicans.
So they're going to get ready for the November election.
Yeah, they're very strong Trump believers. Because some of them I took to Washington a few years ago, and they were honored by Trump.
Oh, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, so, these are people that they would just want to know when they're going to see Trump and when everything's going to be over, because they trust in Trump.
So they must have been ecstatic after the raid that the United States did on the nuclear reactors in Iran.
That was the theme of the party today. We thank Hashem for all your miracles. And they're all into it. They walk around.
You had a great Rabbi Marvin Heyer. He's the former dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. So he was there as the main speaker today.
It just worked out. It was a perfect shidduch, as they say.
No, it worked. Listen, how often do you do these big luncheons for Holocaust survivors?
We usually do it twice a year. So this one just came in because of what happened in Iran and what's happening all over. We wanted to give them what they say, Simchas HaChaim.
They did a great job. and 150 survivors that came together today and had a festive meal, and heard Joey Newcomb, and heard Rabbi Marvin Heyer. What a wonderful event. Thank you for putting it together.
Thank you for having me on and able to describe what a wonderful day it was.
So, Rizy Horowitz, the Director of Senior Operations for Knockers Health and Family Network, people want to learn more about what the organization does. How can they do so?
They can either go on the website fanachashealth.org, or they can come down to the office and they can get introduced to the survivors, and they can even get brachas from the survivors. Like Joey, he did that today, Joey Newcomb. He finished and he went on the main floor and he went over to the survivors that they should bless him.
Very nice. Did you film that too?
Yes, we filmed it. We're going to have, it was so fascinating what was going on there.
Wow. Keep it color, keep on doing. Listen, unfortunately, the Holocaust survivor generations are diminishing. It's each year there's less and less. So we have to appreciate while they're still here and make their lives as comfortable as possible.
We're trying. I can tell you, we're trying to do as much as we can for them because we adore them. It's all from love.
No, thank you. I know you. It says, Zev, you got to come. I'm glad that I came. It really was a special occasion. Keep on continued strength in doing these kind of holy work for those that really need them. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Zev.
Rizy Horowitz here on the Talkline Network.
Thank you for tuning in to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast, the pulse beat of the Jewish community.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.